Today we're talking about a super cool houseplant known as the ruby necklace. I'm going to talk you through how to take care of this awesome, amazing plant. Taking care of the ruby necklace is actually super easy. Even though this plant looks super exotic and hard to care for, it's extremely easy, and it's actually a succulent. I've recently been obsessed with this plant, so this is going to be super fun for me. What is up, guys? My name is Chris and welcome to my channel, Houseplant Therapy. If you can't tell, I'm completely obsessed with houseplants and I love dorking out with this stuff. So I'm really excited about this one today. Let's just deep dive into taking care of the ruby necklace. So first things first, the ruby necklace is a crazy looking plant. It's known as a trailing succulent and it has like these small little pickle shaped leaves on it. This plant is distinctly known by the fact that it changes to a ruby coloration. I know, it's crazy, right? As you can see, the leaves on our plant here, they're a green coloration, and this is telling us that this plant is desiring more light probably. This plant has a ruby colored stem, but when it's getting more sunlight like it wants, the leaves actually start to turn that bright ruby coloration, and it looks absolutely crazy. So some of the general care requirements for the ruby necklace plant can include bright indirect lighting. You have to remember this is a succulent, and succulents love bright indirect lighting. And for the type of soil you want to use for the ruby necklace plant, a fast draining soil. Like I said, it's a succulent, guys. And you might be asking yourself, what the heck are you guys doing in this video? You're cutting up this beautiful plant. Well, actually what we're doing is we're propagating this ruby necklace plant so that the pot can be more full. We're essentially just cutting them up on the stems and propagating them to repot them in the same pot to have it look more full. Sometimes with these trailing succulents, the growth on them gets a bit weird and they start like trailing because they're searching for more sun. Like I told you guys, the ruby necklace is more of a ruby coloration, but if it's kind of sun deprived, these leaves they stay really green like you can see. I'll be honest with you guys, when we first picked up this ruby necklace plant, I was like, oh no, this thing looks crazy and we're gonna kill it, you know? But in all honesty, it's been super easy. This is a succulent. I just kept telling myself that. Give it a fast draining soil, give it tons of indirect lighting, make sure you don't overwater it. I would say maybe the biggest setback is just like how weird the growth has been. One thing we did struggle with though, as I've talked about, the leaves are super green and we kind of just struggled to give it adequate amounts of light. And some of the leaves and stem were kind of trailing and looking for more light. And this is kind of a sad excuse of a ruby necklace plant, honestly. And you can use bobby pins like you've seen to kind of like just like post up the stems or hold them inside of the soil. It's kind of just like an easy little hack. I also see a lot of people overwatering these plants in the Facebook groups, and you know, you'll see the posts where they're struggling and it's just like, what is wrong with my ruby necklace plant? And it's turning yellow, or it's just like dealing with root rot. You got to be very careful with these succulent plants not to overwater them. And like I said, we've been struggling to give it enough sunlight. You can kind of see like the stem is trailing there a bit. And what we're doing is just propagating the heck out of it and kind of just like starting over with 3 new pots. So it's really easy to propagate. You literally just cut the stem and kind of peel back a couple leaves and just kind of like dunk the stem underneath the soil and just give it some time. And that's the thing, it's a lot of time because this is a succulent and they are super slow growing plants. What's really cool is these string of plants are becoming super popular, and I think it's awesome because they're super easy to grow. One thing that kind of sucks is we have kids that are running around in the house, and like when we have these plants hanging in the air, we have kids running by, and sometimes the leaves just get ripped off in the stems, and it's just like it just kills me inside. But I think that's just like what happens when you have children and houseplants. So just be aware of that if like there's a lot of commotion and movement in your house, and sometimes these string of plants just aren't the best option for you possibly. As far as repotting this plant, it's a tough one. A lot of times people just say it literally stops growing, and maybe that's the issue if it stops growing entirely. But guys, the roots like to be crowded, so don't rush to repot. Well guys, I think that about wraps it up. I think I covered everything. Oh wait, temperature. Obviously, you don't want this plant to be in a cold temperature. It's a succulent. You got to keep it in your house and keep your house mildly warm. Also, there are, I'm trying to think, fertilizer. Try to feed your plants in the springtime. That's kind of a generic one. If it's getting more sunlight, like in springtime, that's a perfect time to fertilize. Well, guys, you got to let me know in the comments section. Did you just get this plant? Are you researching it? The ruby necklace plant care. It's super easy, I promise you. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this plant and this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe. I love you.